For decades, building software meant staring at screens just like this and manually typing thousands upon thousands of lines of code. Developers routinely burned massive amounts of time writing repetitive boilerplate structures from scratch. When an application inevitably broke, they were forced to hunt down a single missing semicolon or spend entire afternoons scouring external forums for a fix. Building software was an exclusive club. If you wanted to launch an application, you first had to memorize a massive dictionary of complex language syntax before you could even begin to address the actual logic of your program. The entire process rewarded sheer manual endurance rather than the ability to creatively solve problems. Now, cutting-edge AI coding assistants integrate directly into your code editor to automate the most painful parts of development. This timeline comparison chart shows how a traditional development cycle that previously took weeks shrinks down to a mere fraction of the time. By bypassing manual tasks, developers operate up to 10 times faster. This shift systematically automates the most time-consuming segments of the development cycle. The weeks traditionally spent on manual drafting and rewriting are being replaced by instant, high-fidelity generation. The first phase of this workflow utilizes tools like Cursor or GitHub Copilot. Think of these tools as a senior developer living permanently inside your local coding environment. This split-screen layout demonstrates the core mechanic. You describe what you want using conversational English on one side, like build a full-stack login page, and a dense, perfectly formatted block of production-ready code generates on the other. The AI auto-completes complex logic instantly. It populates entire functional files without requiring a single manual keystroke. Writing software now relies on your ability to clearly describe your human intent, rather than your ability to remember where the brackets go. Eventually, code breaks, but instead of staring at a massive red error screen and guessing what went wrong, the new workflow tackles errors systematically. This node-based map illustrates how proactive AI tools like Replit Agent or Claude Engineer operate. The AI reads the entire interconnected codebase, moving through multiple folders and files to isolate the exact broken node. The tool explains exactly why the code failed in plain English. Then, with a single click, it deploys a patch and repairs the network. By diagnosing and destroying bugs proactively, the human developer transitions into a high-level system overseer, directing the architecture instead of acting as a low-level mechanic. The peak of this workflow bypasses the writing and debugging phases completely, utilizing tools like v0.dev or bolt.new. You upload a physical sketch drawn on a napkin or a digital screenshot of a user interface. That single image becomes your entire prompt. This animated diagram shows how the AI processes that visual input. By visually deconstructing the sketch, the tool instantly writes the front-end UI, handles the logic for the back-end database, and preps the application for live deployment in under 60 seconds. A single visual prompt can now generate destination layers that previously required hours of specialized front-end and back-end coordination. Because these tools handle the syntax, the primary bottleneck for software development has shifted from technical memorization to logical intent. Non-technical founders and absolute beginners can sketch an idea on Tuesday and launch a functional minimum viable product by Wednesday morning, without having to wait months to hire an engineering team for the initial build. For seasoned developers, the impact is equally massive. Stripped of repetitive boilerplate tasks, experienced engineers spend their time purely on high-level software architecture and business logic. A developer is no longer defined by who can type the code. A developer is simply the person who can solve the problem best. Adopting these platforms and maximizing their accessible free tiers is now a mandatory step to stay relevant in the modern tech landscape. You can find direct links to set up all 3 tiers of the AI platforms we discussed in the description below. If this guide helped you rethink how you build software, please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow as we explore this next era of development.